This I feel Yerushalmi in the article Oz Bahara edition where Daf Mem Amrav, the top line, Ein Egel Yetze Begimon, which in the Vilna is on Daf Lamed Beis, Amid Beis. It's a little bit way than halfway down the page. In the old Vilna, it is right opposite the words Gilin Hashas and left on margin. It's approximately 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 lines before the end of the page. Egel Yotze Begimon, Kaf Nako with the Gimon. Rapuna Amar Bar Nira. Rapuna said it's a Bar Nira, which is a small yoke which they give in order to train the calf. Pinkasa, it's a block of wood. Abba Barahuna Amar Sarita, it's a pole which put under its neck so it shouldn't bend down. All this from the carbon Ada. East Tiny Tiny Gimon. Some say Gimon. East Tiny Tiny Gimon. Some say Gimon. Some more than one alignment. Manamar Gimon. Halkuf Kagbon. Will show it's the language of Shai Nurches to bend like a rush its head when we bend over, and this evidently is meant to prevent it from bending over. Mandamar Gimol, but says by Hannah when she brought Shmuel up, she brought him up when she weaned him, when she accustomed him to eat the way the Carmel learns it, accustomed him to eat normal food as opposed to having to nurse. So Madamar Gimon, Mr. Rav Chisda, an opinion which holds Gimon, it's like Rav Chisda, it's this block of wood which is to strain the posture of the animal. Madamar Gimol, Misayel Abba Bar Huna. This is a evidence for Abba Bar Huna. I'm sorry, Rav Chisda. Chisda one who said no. Rav Chisda one who said Pinkas. So yeah. Madamar Gimol Misayel Abba Bar Huna, who said it is a either this thing to accustom not to bend its neck, or Rav Huna said that it is a small yoke. In other words, it's something not to prevent its bending, but it's something in order to either straighten out the neck or to accustom it to bear the yoke. Okay, it says my par bar kupad, not a cow with a porcupine skin. Shunosin or kupa ben nadeb puts the porcupine skin between its teeth, in order that it should not nurse its child, I guess, to save its milk for human purposes. Plus, the Shabbalazman Azaya Hoysa Yotze Bertua Sheben Kanel. The Parare Lozman Azaya will go out with the belt between its horns. Shalom Ratzon Chachamim, not according to the Ratzon Chachamim. Rabbi Bob, Rabbi Shmuel, Tarvan, Amin, they both said, Divrei Chachamim, I feel the Mashech Ba'asar. Even if you're putting there that belt in order to pull it, it still can't. It's still not permissible. Rabbi Bob, Shem Shmuel said, Im Haisa Karnel Keducha, if it had you drilled a hole into the horns, then you can use that as a leash. The belt, which is then strapped from hole to hole, but not if it's just tied on. Rabbi Yosef said, "Kushisikim Rabba." I had asked him from above, "Mar lotina ella hanaka bechatam." This said that it sounds like the only a chatam, a nose ring, is permitted, but any other nitiusa yisera is not permitted. And this comes back to Ephraim, which we had a few blot ago, towards the beginning of the parak, where he said that the Tirusa Yisera is a masa according to Yerushalmi. It seems quite clear. This is evidence. It says here that any other Tirusa Yisera besides the nose ring, even if it's drilled between the horns, it's not going to be Tirusa Yisera. It's not going to be permitted. Rabbi Zir Hashem Shmuel said, "Shor Shisuka Ra." if you have an ox, which is difficult its activities are difficult, means it's difficult to restrain. Yotze be prumbia shelo can go out with this bit. The prumbia goes between in the teeth. We said. A metal restraint of some sort. Evidently, it's necessary for this difficult animal. Rabbi Seder Shabbat no cocaine, and was the custom of the rabbis in the Chutzlarts. Rabbi Laya and Rabbi Yudah B'Shem Bar Chia said, "Kelb yotz b'sogeshlo, a dog can guard in its muzzle. Ima hakos bo usher, but if you're doing it in order to hit it, I guess the muzzle was a dual purpose. So then that's no good because then it's a masui. If it's in order that it should not eat, Absuro mutter. Evidently uh, somehow they tied the leash on it in some way, shape, or form as part and parcel of the muzzle, so that the leash became part of the muzzle, and it's not going to be a masui, even if you're not using it right now, and therefore would be permissible. Niva mahalochahi, halochahi hayamlamidu. So he has a girsa here in the Korban Eda. Lachia Melamed Rabbi Eliezer Uba. He explains, Abullah Rocket, he taught it as a locha, but not psak. Koshkin lost a Maisik. Now this is going on Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. Okay, so Geneva is going to Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. It should be maybe the article even has a header here, which we don't have in the not. But that's the so in any event, what Geneva was saying that Rabbi Eliezer said it in theory it could go out with a carabin between with a belt between its horns, and he never passed away a loch lemaisa. Like it says that it was not the Ratzon Chachamim. So that's according to what it says here in Argamar. According to the Korban A, it says Hagasim Bates of Perak Bates of Yusuf Yoni, but boy, he asked him, Yocham Lami to Ba. It was just teaching halacha and not for practice. But Hadai the Tina Shlo Ratzon Chachamim, but in Shlo Ratzon Chachamim. Had ve'chlochi pirush Erem Shel Mashlo Bar Uvda El Halacha Yam Lamed My High Tina Shlo Ratzon Chachamim. Chimaratzon Sharbazeh Havli Merchamim Pligale. What do you mean Shlo Ratzon Chachamim? Just say Chachamim argue. So the way it is in front of us, it seems to support the statement. In other words, it's a Shalom Chachamim, only passing away the halacha and didn't actually passing away the. He only wanted to pass away the halacha, didn't say lamaisa to do it. But the way the girsa is brought down from Beitzah, so then actually it must be because it says Shalom Chachamim and not the Chachamim plige that actually that he did pass in this way halacha lamaisa. Okay. Tani Rabbi Yehuda bar Pazi and Rabbi Dalia Amru. So it says actually Rabbi Yehuda bar Pazi the Bar Delaya. That was the place where he came from. That's what Korban Eis Girsa. Rabbi Pazi Bar Delaya Shemakam. So Amrulay the Chama said to Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah, "Oh, Amomi Birosenu, either remove yourself from upon us." In other words, Korban Eis says, "We'll put you in nidu like Eliezer ben Horkanus." Oh, I have very soon make I'll remove the belt from between the horns. Rabbi Yisrael said, "Shematris connect dom," that he would he was shielding himself opposite them. In other words, he was staunch in his position. Otherwise, if he wouldn't be staunch in position, they wouldn't have have to threaten him so severely. Nevertheless, says he didn't actually do like he wanted to do, and he said once his cow went out with this the belt between its horns, and he shchil Moshe min Thomas. He fasted to tone for having over on the Chachamim Shita. Amar Rabbi Idi the Chutre. So interesting language here. Prime says it's a name of a place. Um, um, the Komreza says with good Prime sounds astonishing. The Chutra Ishto Haisa. Right, because it says I mean the Chutre Ishto Haisa. In other words, it belongs to Chutra's wife because Elazar ben Azariah's wife was named was Chutra. Um, so, but again, as good Prime says, his name and place. I mean the Chutre Ishto Haisa. It was his wife, not her name was Chutre. Um, the there's Girsa, which Melecha Shlema brings down that her wife's name was Chumre. Uh, uh, and there's another opinion that Chumre is this town of Rabbi Idi, and a whole bunch of other Girsos, what to do with this word, the Chutre. Anyway, Minai Shishto Kori Egla. So uh, the Gemara says that um, this according to Carbonate Kashim Kane, the Shalish so Lomakar Parosa Shabilaz Ben Azariah. By say Parvilas Ben Azariah, his wife. So Kaka Marke Mishkam Ishan Nikres Egloso, Koshkin Shapars Ishan Nikres Paroso. Since his wife is sometimes called his calf, it's a language of endearment, as we see by Shimshon. So too, his wife's cow is called his cow. So that's what it says. If not, Isha Kriya Eglo, Lule Charashim Eglosi, Lomatzas Chidasi. Shimshon says to the police tape, had you not uh, plowed with my wife, in other words, persuaded her to tell you the answer to the riddle that I posed, you would not have found the answer. Okay, so that's one interpretation of his wife's. Tamar, I mean, in the Bible they said, it was talking the Bible, Shechinoso, I said, was his neighbor. Yeshon Nenoshah Shechinoso is a person um, punished for his neighbor. Rabbi Kiris, the Didma, again, it seems to be a place. Kiris Didma said, anybody has capacity to protest, and does not protest. Yes, he's responsible for the negative behavior. So since the Messiah could have protested the behavior of his neighbor and did not protest the behavior of his neighbor, it's as if he himself had done this inappropriate deed. Okay, Hajjal Bameh Behema. Now we go on to Bameh Isha. Loch Aleph. Bameh Isha Yotza. What could a woman wear out into to public domain? And Bameh Isha Yotza, which cannot go out because she might take it off and carry it for almost in Shusarabim. Lo Tetzei Shelo B'chutei Tzemer. A woman should not go out B'chutei Tzemer with wool strands, nor linen strands, nor with a belt on her head, because she might take them out to show them. She not tovel in them until she loses them because it could be a chatzitza. Below totafos, of course, for a male would be tefillin, but this is a frontlet, something she puts on the front of her head. Below is sanbutin. It's Gemara also explain it's a different type of adornment. For him unless if they're not sewn onto her head covering. Below a cover should not go out either with a cover, which we're going to explain what it is, some sort of cable. The Rishus Rabin to Rishus Rabin, which the implication being that to her chotzer she can do that. The Korban says chotzer shari b'chol niskrin l'maos so after chotzer. All the things mentioned above are not permitted even the chotzer shemet taglei Rishus Rabin because she might go on to take them out to Rishus Rabin. And the Chadik Zeri, there was one Gezerah, the Gaza Bem, which is the Queen Shlotis Kasha Bem, B'Shabbos Cloud, not to adorn herself B'Shabbos, these things at all. Okavli Tiru, the cover they permitted Shlola Sor Koltar, they shouldn't forbid all her jewelry. It's not about and she won't find favor in her husband's eyes. Velobi Ishazov should go out with a city of gold, which is a special type of particularly expensive jewelry. Velobi Ktola, certain type of necklace. V'lo ben zamim, nor with nose rings. V'lo b'tabashin l'chaisam, nor with a ring which has uh, no seal. The nor with a needle which does not have a hole in it. If she went out with all these things, she's not chayav chatas because even though Chachamim said not to go out with them, they're really jewelry. So therefore, it's not considered to be derech masui. It's not a burden. It's derech malbush. And therefore, Chachamim argue. I said she might come take them off and show them around and walk with them. Nevertheless, if she did wear them out and didn't walk around with them in her hand, she's not chayav anything. Rav Nachman bar Yaakov, the Gemara says Nachman bar Yaakov, Amar Deshi Matarosan, she in Chotzim Nidasa. So the Korban explains page lo tikshe don't have difficult tefillah man chashmei had tefillah get into this. Talking about my time lo teisisha why should you not go out with them? Tasuli boba mechol shvatim because you can't go to the mikvah with them on a weekend until she loosens them. So klatirin, so she has to be matem. She chotzin tefillas nida because they're chotzis for nida. The misramal tefillas mitzvah b'Shabbos. And maybe she's going to have tefillas mitzvah and Shabbos. Stay matiros and she's going to loosen them. Shulchach she Shabbos could forget the Shabbos. I say so yeah, arba mishus rabbi could take them 4 hours and mishus rabbi. So this that's what it says. Aideshi matosim between chasim and nida. So she's going to loosen them because the chatzitza ben nida. Shkucha malachs ben arba amos. She's going to forget and go with them 4 hours, which is not to be seen by the Bavli. The Bavli means that she's going to show off to her friends. But Yerushalmi gives this additional reason that she actually is going to take them off in order to go to the mikveh. So the initially they said that the problem was that she might actually, in order to get these things read, she might undo their sewing. They're sewn to somehow, I guess, to her head covering, saying she's going to undo them. And the law of Klum, but that was not. It's not true. That's not the issue. The issue is that she's going to carry them, not just going to undo them if they're sewn. I guess they only weren't sewn, therefore was an issue. Tai Rabbi Yeshua said, "Chuto shel tmorim." If you have a vessel which is made from palm leaves and you put in them unripe dates in order to ripen them. Kolea matir, you can wrap up and undo the covering on Shabbos. Kolea means to tie it up and undo on Shabbos. It's not shukama. But you shouldn't tie it down. In other words, you can. I guess they have some sort of strap which they would wrap in and then wrap out, some sort of seal that you're allowed to take in and put out, but not actually to tie it because that might become a kesher shokayama. Talmud we learned over there. Elu chutzim ba'adam yizah chatzitzis by a person. Chutei tzemer, chutei pishton, strands of strings of wool, strings of linen, baratzulos, and belts of roshe bonos. The Shmuel Amar Shmuel said lace kancho seor. So there's additional gears in the carbon Ada, which is Hagasinan Rabbi Yechon Amar Shel Semer Shel Tzeir Ein Chaitzim Nesha Mayim Boin Mayim. If it's made out of hair, wool or hair, they're porous and the water comes in it, and they don't take them up. Shmuel said lace kancho seor. No, the Rabbi Yochanan, the Avrabana mode to say in other words, it's not just Shitas Rabbi Yochanan; it's everybody. Not Rabbi Yochanan, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Sorry, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Let's cancel the Seir. The Seir, everybody agrees. Adat Rabbi Yehuda, Ela Shel Tzemer, because Rabbi Yehuda specifically talking about Tzemer, that he allows that. Shel Seir. Everybody agrees that it's not chaytzis. Rabbi Sheri Yehuda, Rabbi Zir B'Sher Rabbanan, Haisa Nima Achas Chutzetzes. This Gemara appears several places in Shas. If you have one tied hair, it's a chatzitza because the water can't get into where it's tied up. Shtayim suffix, if it's two hairs tied together, we're not sure if the water can get in. Sholosh ein chatzitza, if it's three hairs tied together, then for sure the water can get in. It's not a chatzitza. Rabbi Zira Bay asks, "Kasher nima chaberta achas hi achas." So the Gemara explains, "Pesach kosher also say about small. I know achas. I mean kasher nima achas chaberta avle shtayim. Because saviku, if you tie one hair onto itself, that's one. But if you tie one hair to another hair, it's two, and that includes safik. Or lavi ela achas, or is it still only one who buy the chaytzitz, and certainly chaytzitz. But then shtayim shosh im inan mishuloshim. If it has to be trifold. The article is on the name of Chaim Kanievsky. If it's two hairs together, it's a suffix only if they're next to each other. But if they're tied like this, then perhaps that's definitely that's kashni mechaberta. Perhaps it's going to be one, not two. Two's like this, and same thing three. It's three only like this. What about if you tied like this again? Achas shtayim shtayim heim shalosh shalosh hein. Is it the same thing that one is like one, or is it like two not? Two like two is it not? Three like three is not? Or is it the question of the Gemara only where their Gemara statements before is only where like this, or even where like this, and the Gemara doesn't resolve the question of what manner they're tied together. Okay, but that brings us to the end today. So the top of my mouth, so we'll stop here for now.